Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today will be my review for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 1 Episode 1, and wow, what an opening. This episode is an extended one. We have about an hour for this episode, and this is like a complete opposite to Dead City's premiere. I really liked Dead City, but I just wasn't a fan of the premiere. I felt like it took too long and the pacing was all over the place. Daryl Dixon doesn't have that. From start to finish is intriguing, the pacing is good, and there's this actual mystery that you care about, unlike in Dead City where there's this mystery with Negan and Maggie, and you don't really care about them, and the whole point of those little mysteries is they're literal, oh, there's a mystery, and then they kind of get forgotten about, and they're like one-off little mentions in episode 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But Daryl Dixon's mystery of how he got to France, we get the answer to that in this episode, but it's very entertaining. It does leave more for us, because we're not just going to be told it like all the mystery that they had in Dead City. I keep comparing this to Dead City, but all the mystery in Dead City, we were just all told it, but looks like we are in this show going to be told it by Daryl, and then we're actually going to get flashbacks to see how he ends up here, which is really good, and that's a big win. But the actual episode itself, it looks amazing, and the music, I absolutely love the music for this show. The little song, like the little Daryl Dixon theme song, absolutely amazing. It's just so great, and the story is very simple in this episode. It's just about Daryl getting his bearings in France. He washes up on shore, he meets some French people, they don't treat him very nice, and then he ends up with the nuns, and there's this prophecy, and I'm really interested because they're going somewhere completely different with this show. They're going down this religion-based, and there's maybe something to it. I really hope there is something to do with this, not just this random thing, but it's very interesting with this prophecy that they just give us in this first episode. And there seems to be something to it, because you see that Laurent was drawing a picture of Daryl 3 weeks before he met Daryl, and they're treating Daryl like this messenger to the Messiah, and that's really what they think Laurent is. He's this Messiah. He has this ability to do something, and he does quote Judith. One of the last things Judith says to Daryl is, you gotta live your own life or something like that, and Laurent touches Daryl, and the first thing he says is quoting Judith. So there's something special about this kid, and I really do hope they do something with it, because I'm up for it. I know that we all hated on Tales for introducing ghosts and Groundhog Day, but if they're going down this Messiah route, I don't care, because if they're going to treat it seriously, it's going to be a really interesting part of the Walking Dead universe, and it'd be really cool. I hope it doesn't end up to be nothing, because they say something that Laurent was born under extraordinary circumstances. And in this episode, they definitely do make Laurent seem very unique. And in the trailer for what's coming, Laurent definitely does seem different to everyone else. And all the characters are great. I really like Isabel the Nun. I really like Norman Reedus having his time to shine, even though the last 3 seasons of The Walking Dead was his show. He felt forgotten sometimes, so it's great to see Daryl again. I was a bit okay with Maggie and Negan getting their show, but I'm really excited for this, and this first episode really lived up to the hype of returning Daryl to our screens. The only character that was somewhat annoying was Laurent, but that's literally only in 2 scenes. One where he waits for the last minute to lock the door just as the villains stood outside, and one when he runs out of it when he hears screaming. I just didn't like that. I felt that was slightly annoying, but other than that, Laurent was pretty good. Great cast all around, and the fight scenes were amazing in the monastery, and everyone using flintlock weapons and makeshift weapons looks so cool. I'm really happy that people aren't just running around with guns anymore. All of these things just makes this show feel so fresh and unique, and really brings life to this franchise, which is clearly on the decline, and this is definitely one of the bright spots. And with this episode being so strong, I definitely think the rest of the season is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it'd be so shocking going from The Walking Dead having this reputation for having terrible spin-offs to having 2 back-to-back smashing spin-offs. It'd be really good to have this franchise go back up to the glory that it once was. And I'm really happy with how good this episode was. And the villains, they're quite nice. We get introduced to both villains. I think they are the same group, but we don't see them. One's in the north of France, which we only meet right at the end, and she's the big bad. She's the leader of the other villain. And over there, right at the end, we do see this more build-up for she's also now hunting down Daryl Dixon because Daryl was on the boat that's in the north. So in a way, Daryl's going back to people that kidnapped him, if you think about it. So we have them trying to get after Daryl, and then we have the personal villain that is trying to hunt down Daryl because he believes Daryl killed his brother, even though it's actually this other woman that Daryl met once, and we're probably never going to see her again, so she's just there to make this guy go after Daryl. And I really, really hope that Daryl, I'm sorry, I'm not very good with names, Daryl and the guy with the tattoo on his face have a lot more conflict, because they were quite good. I really liked their fight scene. And the last thing I do want to talk about is the variants, because they're all over this episode, and we probably see more variants than actually normal walkers, which is really good, because on Dead City we thought we would see a variant. No, it was actually just a really beat up human, and then we got the Walker King. But this, we got burners, and the best thing is they're not called walkers. Even though we have variants in The Walking Dead, a lot of the time our characters do call them just walkers. No, they are called burners in the show, which is great, and the burners are really cool. And they seem to have this weird effect where even if they touch you and you don't cauterize or treat the wound, you can still die. So they're even more dangerous than normal walkers. They're more dangerous than we thought they were. If they touch you, you have to go get medical treatment. You can't just leave it there or put water on it and bandage it up. You have to go cauterize it. So it's very, very interesting. And maybe in the later episodes, that wound on Daryl's arm will flare up again. And maybe there will be a dire part where Daryl might die because he needs more treatment for his arm. Maybe the cauterization won't hold. So that'd be very interesting. I hope they do something more with the burners. And we do get a little hint at, we have some French scientists doing some research in the north. And are they talking about runners, or is this just another connection to burners? We know we're going to see runners in this show. So absolutely amazing. We got Daryl being attacked from all sides, being chased up north by the man who thinks he killed his brother, and then we've got people closing down south on him. So it's definitely all going to end up in Paris. I don't think he's going to end up at the port by the end of the season. And he's probably just going to radio and someone's going to come to him. Maybe that's how Carol gets into it. Now let's move on to my one sentence, that's one word overview. And I have to say this is a fantastic episode and give it a 9 out of 10. I was on 8, but however, thinking about this episode, how much I enjoyed it, it deserves a 9. It is so well done, it builds the universe so well, and it makes the Walking Dead franchise feel so fresh. Giving Daryl Dixon a spin-off was a smart choice. Maybe me a year ago been like, nah, he should have died with The Walking Dead. But no, I'm really, really happy he survived. Well, no one died in the final season except for 2 characters, and he's got his own spin-off, because giving Daryl his own spin-off and not just pairing him with Carol really gives Daryl time to shine. And I have to say again, 9 out of 10. And I'm definitely thinking this is going to be the best spin-off out of the 3 spin-offs we got. I mean, I haven't even seen The Ones Who Lived yet, but I'm already expecting that to be kind of mid. But please tell me down below, what did you think about Daryl Dixon? Did you like the episode? Did you hate it? And what did you rate it out of 10? But this is it for me today. So goodbye, peace out, and I'll see you in my next video.